in New York. This is World News Tonight.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday. I'm Whit Johnson. We begin tonight with heavy rain battering California and turning deadly, claiming at least 2 lives as millions are now bracing for more flash flooding and mudslides. Authorities in Monterey County searching tonight for a 5-year-old girl swept away by a massive wave. Her father died trying to save her. Heavy rain wreaking havoc across parts of Southern California, some forced to kayak across residential streets, and officers going door to door warning residents about the dangers. Gusty winds knocking down trees in the Altadena area, one landing on top of a car, another tree crushing a patrol car in Santa Cruz. More heavy rain is on the way. Our weather team standing by with the forecast. But first, ABC's Jacqueline Lee leads us off from the storm zone.
Tonight, at least 2 dead and a 5-year-old missing as residents across California brace for another round of heavy rain. Monterey County Sheriff's deputies urgently searching along the Big Sur coast after the girl and her parents were swept away by large waves due to the storms. Her mother recovering in the hospital, her father pronounced dead. And just outside Sacramento, a 71-year-old man died after floodwaters pushed his car over a bridge, according to California Highway Patrol. This as the cleanup continues in Southern California. Millions of residents bracing for more flash flooding, mudslides, and debris flows, especially near burn scars. This entire hillside was in flames during the Palisades fire. These tarps helping to prevent rock and debris from cascading into the road and blocking Pacific Coast Highway. Officials going door to door in Altadena, hard hit by the Eaton fire earlier this year, warning residents to get out. Southern California seeing up to 6 inches of rain. Wind gusts toppling multiple massive trees on parked cars. No one was injured.
He told me that it sounded like it was an earthquake, like it was a really loud noise, and he said it was my car that got crushed by a tree.
Firefighters rescuing a man stranded on a ledge in Buena Park. While evacuation orders and warnings are lifted, LA City officials are warning more heavy rain arrives on Monday. This is the wettest November since 1985 for downtown Los Angeles. The threat for flash flooding and mudslides continues through tomorrow.
Yeah, they just can't catch a break. Jacqueline, thanks so much. Let's get right to meteorologist Danny Beckstrom from our New York station WABC. And Danny, as we noted there, another storm threat on the way.
Yeah, this is the last thing people in California want to hear. A new storm system bringing another round of heavy rain starting tonight. Northern California gets it first with downpours from San Francisco to Sacramento overnight into tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, Southern California does start dry Monday morning, but the heavy rain arrives by midday through the afternoon. This round isn't as intense as what we saw yesterday, but the ground is now saturated, so it's that much easier to trigger flash flooding and mudslides. The heavy rain winds down by Monday evening with generally 1 to 2 inches of additional rainfall. But as the system pushes inland, it could also help drop heavy mountain snow in the Sierra Nevada and Central Rockies. Well, here in the Northeast, no big storm, but big wind thanks to a cold front that helps bring colder air to start the work week. We're looking at wind chills in the 20s and 30s Monday afternoon. Whit?
Okay, Danny, we appreciate it. Thank you. Now to the escalating war of words within the GOP over the Epstein files. President Trump sparring with one of his most loyal allies, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling her a traitor in a social media post. Greene firing back as a critical vote on the Epstein files is set for Tuesday. ABC's senior White House correspondent Selena Wang reports from Washington.
Tonight, just days before the House is set to vote on releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files, President Trump ramping up attacks on one of his closest allies. Trump declaring he's withdrawing his supported endorsement of Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of 4 Republicans who joined Democrats to force that vote. Trump accusing Greene of betraying the entire Republican Party, calling her a ranting lunatic and a traitor. Greene firing back, questioning why the president is fighting so hard to stop the files from being released.
I believe the country deserves transparency in these files, and I don't believe that rich, powerful people should be protected if they have done anything wrong.
The rupture exposing deep divisions within the president's own base. Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie, the lead Republican co-sponsor of the bill, saying he expects a large block of GOP lawmakers to break from Trump, a rarity in today's Washington.
I think we could have a deluge of Republicans. There could be 100 or more.
Trump says he cut ties with Epstein after a decade-long friendship because Epstein and his accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell were luring away women and teenage girls who worked at Mar-a-Lago. He claims they hadn't spoken in 15 years at the time of Epstein's arrest in 2019. But the House Oversight Committee released thousands of pages of documents subpoenaed from Epstein's estate, many of which mention Trump by name, sparking new questions about the relationship with the notorious sex offender. The president deflecting.
This is a Democrat hoax. This is a hoax put out by the Democrat, and a couple of few Republicans have gone along with it.
Congressman Massey urging fellow Republicans to back his bill, warning of political consequences if they don't.
In 2030, he's not going to be the president, and you will have voted to protect pedophiles if you don't vote to release these files, and the president can't protect you then. This vote, the record of this vote, will last longer than Donald Trump's presidency.
And Whit, even if that measure to force the release of the files passes the House, it still needs to clear the Senate, and it's very unlikely President Trump would sign on. But Republican lawmakers, they've got a tough decision to make. President Trump does not want those files released, but many of their constituents are demanding transparency. Whit.
Selena Wang at the White House tonight. Overseas now to the U.S. military drills near Venezuela. The USS Gerald R. Ford arriving in the Caribbean Sea, marking a major buildup of American firepower in the region to combat alleged drug smuggling. Let's get right to ABC's Alex Prochet. And Alex, these military drills are happening just miles off the Venezuelan coast.
That's right, Wed. U.S. Marines are set to begin joint training exercises in Trinidad and Tobago, just 7 miles off the coast of Venezuela. And this represents a major escalation and show of force in the Caribbean as the Trump administration continues targeting Latin American drug cartels. Just hours ago, the administration launched its 21st airstrike, bringing the total number of alleged drug cartel members killed to 83 since operations began in September. Today, the USS Gerald Ford Carrier Strike Group also entered Caribbean waters, now part of the 15,000 U.S. troops operating in the region, the largest presence there in decades. Colombia President Gustavo Petro has ordered his country to stop sharing intelligence with the U.S. until Trump stops what critics have called illegal executions. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro is calling the Marine trainings in Trinidad and Tobago irresponsible. But the table is now set for more possible U.S. action. President Trump telling reporters this week that he has sort of made up his mind about next steps in Venezuela. Whit.
All right, Alex Prochet, thank you. Turning to the immigration crackdown in Charlotte, North Carolina, dozens of people have been arrested or detained by federal agents despite protests from the mayor and other local officials. ABC's Faith Abube reports from Charlotte tonight.
Tonight, dozens arrested in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Department of Homeland Security officially announcing Operation Charlotte's Web, saying it's targeting, quote, the worst of the worst criminal illegal aliens. Gregory Bovino, the Customs and Border Patrol commander overseeing the operation, on social media touting 81 arrests on Saturday, claiming many of them had significant criminal and immigration histories. Federal agents seen detaining people across the city throughout the weekend. In one encounter, masked agents seen smashing in the window of this car. The man inside telling our affiliate WSOC he was stopped twice Saturday morning, but was released both times after showing proof he's a U.S. citizen.
Give me your status. Give me your papers. I say, why? Open the door. Say, I not open the door.
He says he was injured during the second encounter when agents pulled him from his car and threw him to the ground.
I got pain. It's not terrible, but I got pain.
The DHS responding on social media, quote, during an enforcement operation in Charlotte, this individual became erratic, refused lawful commands, and had to be removed from his vehicle. DHS law enforcement followed their training to remove him. But the administration's tactics sparking protests and drawing condemnation from some residents.
It's terrifying to pretty much know that at any moment a federal agent can just come out and abuse you just because of the way you look.
The state's Democratic Governor Josh Stein telling residents to, quote, follow the law. And if you see any inappropriate behavior, use your phone to record and notify local law enforcement.
And with Charlotte is the latest city led by a Democrat that the Trump administration has targeted for immigration enforcement after surging agents to Los Angeles, Chicago, and Portland. And sources telling ABC News that New Orleans could be next. Whit.
All right, Faith Abube, thank you for that. Next tonight, the NBA is expanding its investigation into allegations of illegal gambling. Multiple teams, including the Los Angeles Lakers, have reportedly been asked to turn over cell phone records and other documents. This following several high-profile arrests and congressional scrutiny. Here's ABC's Olivia Rubin.
Tonight, the NBA expanding their sports betting investigation, requesting multiple teams, including the Los Angeles Lakers, to reportedly hand over cell phone records. Weeks after sweeping federal indictments involving a player and two current and former NBA coaches, a spokesperson for the league saying, quote, a number of different individuals and organizations were asked to preserve documents and records. Sources telling ESPN the Lakers' assistant trainer and executive administrator are some of the employees contacted and are now cooperating with the investigation. According to prosecutors, former player and coach Damon Jones passed along injury information about LeBron James to bettors, allegedly texting, "Get a big bet on Milwaukee tonight," before the information is out. Jones pleading not guilty to wire fraud and money laundering last week in Brooklyn.
Mr. Jones, any comment?
Let's not, mince words. This is the insider trading saga for the NBA.
And star Miami Heat player Terry Rozier also accused of providing inside information, allegedly tipping off bettors he would fake an injury during this 2023 game.
Terry Rozier, right foot discomfort, doubtful to return.
The winnings from bets on his underperformance totaling more than $200,000. The move comes as Congress demands answers from NBA Commissioner Adam Silver about the allegations, including of Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups, who allegedly lured victims to poker games rigged by the mob using high-tech devices.
And with Congress now also expressing concern with Major League Baseball's own sports betting scandal involving two star pitchers, and the NFL, in a memo obtained by ABC News, says it's working with lawmakers to curb prop betting, which are bets based solely on player performance.
Yeah, a lot of focus on those prop bets. Olivia, thanks. Now to a massive fire at a decommissioned power plant near Galveston, Texas. Crews working through the night to contain the flames. Residents are urged to stay indoors to prevent smoke exposure as officials are monitoring air quality. Here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
Tonight, firefighters battling these massive flames burning at a decommissioned power plant north of Galveston.
It's really going towards our house.
Thick black clouds seen filling the air, where officials say around 2:30 Sunday morning, a fire broke out at the former PHR Peakers energy supplier off State Highway 146. The flames igniting nearby grass fires. The plumes so thick, ABC's KTRK's weather radar capturing the smoke as it drifted over Galveston Bay.
First reaction was, that can't be good. Big gray smoke, that usually means something bad's going in the air.
County officials issuing a public safety alert, urging at-risk residents to avoid the smoky conditions.
Texas firefighters say air quality monitors are showing safe readings for the public and no one was injured.
Melissa Don, our thanks to you. Now to Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowing to oppose any attempt to establish a Palestinian state. The UN Security Council is expected to vote tomorrow on an American plan authorizing an international military force in Gaza. Some say the proposal opens the door for Palestinian independence. Netanyahu has long maintained that a Palestinian state rewards Hamas. Russia, China, and some Arab countries oppose the U.S. plan. The so-called Gen Z protests now spreading to Mexico. Protesters in Mexico City taking to the streets against violence and corruption, clashing with police officers there on Saturday. At least 120 people, most police officers, were injured. Gen Zers in several other countries this year, including Nepal, the Philippines, Peru, and Kenya, have also organized protests. There's still much more ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday, including the New York Jets player shot and wounded, his condition tonight. Plus, Hollywood figures flock to the Vatican and the special gift for Pope Leo. Next tonight, a Texas state trooper is under investigation following a bizarre incident at a college football game. Two South Carolina players were walking back onto the field when that happened. They bumped into the trooper, who then pointed at the players and appeared to yell at them. The trooper was relieved of his game day duties and sent home. Undefeated Texas A&M came from behind to win the game 31-30. And details are just coming in. A New York Jets player was shot and critically wounded overnight. Police say cornerback Chris Boyd was shot in Midtown Manhattan at about 2 this morning. No arrests have been made, but the NYPD says it is looking for a man who fled the scene in a car. Boyd is 29 years old and has not played this season after suffering a shoulder injury during the preseason. When we come back, the Grey's Anatomy star who's opening up about his battle with cancer. To the Index now, Grey's Anatomy star James Pickens Jr. is opening up about his battle with prostate cancer. It comes just days after an episode in which his character was diagnosed with cancer. Pickens, who's 73, says prostate cancer runs in his family, which is why he's been undergoing screening for decades. He says the cancer was caught early and has not spread, and he's urging men, especially black men, to get screened. An extraordinary meeting at the Vatican on Saturday. Pope Leo welcomed dozens of Hollywood celebrities, including two-time Oscar winner Cate Blanchett, to celebrate movies and their ability to inspire. Director Spike Lee presented Leo, a Chicago native, with a number 14 jersey from his favorite basketball team, the New York Knicks, and pointed out that the Knicks have 3 players from the Pope's alma mater, Villanova University. When we come back, they've been friends for half a century, but never met in person until now. Finally tonight, an introduction and a reunion, all wrapped up in one.
Connie McNeil and Carolyn Evans have been friends for 50 years, but this is the first time they've ever met in person. Their friendship began as pen pals when they were just 10 years old.
Dear Carolyn,
Dear Connie, I was so glad I got your letter.
how old are you? How tall are you?
Carolyn and Connie first writing to each other in the 5th grade.
It was 1975, Saturday morning cartoons. They said, boys and girls, would you like to write to somebody you've never met? Send us your name, your address, and your age, and we'll connect you with somebody.
The pen pals finally deciding to meet recently in honor of the 50th anniversary of their friendship, choosing Philadelphia, close to Carolyn's home.
Here we go. We ready?
We were just kids looking for a friend, and it was nice to get something in the mail because there were no computers.
Yeah, that's
So
what we did.
It was nice to talk to somebody that wasn't your family.
Yo, Adrian!
The two stopping off for a Philly cheesesteak at Pat's.
I want with onions.
You got it. Yeah, just in the last couple of days, we've learned so much about each other that weren't written in the letters.
Cheers!
Cheers to Philly cheesesteak.
In a world of text and tech, Connie and Carolyn hoping their story will inspire others to prioritize those human connections.
It's a tradition like many others that you don't see much of anymore. Please write back sincerely, your pen pal.
P.S. Right back soon.
We kept that alive 50 years and counting.
And counting. Also, a special thanks to our Philadelphia station WPVI for help with that story. Have a good night.
David